right, good morning everyone. This is Sayward from findyourdivinity.com. So here we are again on day 3, and I'm talking about kind of how we get into things. But today, instead of talking about how to get into magic, I want to talk a little bit about some fakes and some scammers. So I've decided that, well, not just me, my partner and I have decided that we're going to start doing a podcast. We're going to call that Fakes, Scammers, and Liars. So if you guys are interested, please keep your eye out. I will be posting that and spreading it all over so people can see it, but just keep your eye out for it. That being said, the reason why this happened is because, obviously, I'm one of the few people out there who are actively looking for fakes and for scammers in the spellcasting field. Why I'm doing this is because I'm not a fake, and I'm really sick and tired of people, straight up scamming other people and leaving a bad taste in clients' mouths. You know, if you go to a scammer and you spend a lot of money with them, then you're probably not going to be so willing to try magic with a person who's not fake. So these scammers are not only screwing with you guys, but they're screwing with me. And I've got a problem with that because not only am I worried about my own business, but I think that it's a bunch of bullshit that these people get to go around and do this, and there's like no way to stop them, right? Like, how are you gonna go get your $1,000 back when they're in Nigeria? You know, unless you're trying to go to Africa and find these people and track them down and deal with all that, you just end up like footing the loss. So I've talked to a couple people, and more than a couple people at this point, who have been scammed. But recently, in like the last 2 or 3 days, I've talked to a couple of people, and they're all using the same word. So I feel like this is a message that is important for more than just the people who are talking to me about it. Okay? The word is vulnerable. So what I mean by that is these scammers and these fakes get a hold of people in vulnerable situations. When you're desperate, when you desperately need help with something, you want a lover back, you are in a serious financial situation, you are worried about your health, you're worried about your house, you're angry because someone screwed you over and you really want retribution because it wasn't fair what happened to you, whatever it is, okay? Vulnerability plays a huge factor in these scams. So, what I want to tell you, here we go. Can you guys hear the cops? It's not for me, I promise. But anyway, hopefully they're going to get a fucking scammer, right? So anyway, point being, they take you when you are in these most vulnerable of situations, and I want to give you some ideas, just some general stuff that you can do to help keep you from being caught up with one of these fakes or scammers, okay? You don't have to go to me for services. I'm not the worker for everyone. But that being said, I do believe that everyone deserves the opportunity to experience magic and to work with a worker, but one who is safe, one who's trustworthy, one who is going to tell you the reality about your situation, you know? So here's how the most common of scams works. Okay, this is the one that I have seen ubiquitously. Maybe it's happened to you, maybe it hasn't, but hopefully talking about it will give you guys a little bit of an idea of kind of what to look for, so that if you are looking for a worker who you're not sure about, and this happens to you, you can be like, oh crap, Sayward said that I need to pay attention, okay? So here's the deal. Most often, you will see a post or an ad, or you'll get a message, something that says, I'm doing free readings for the first 10, 20, 100, whatever people. Okay, free readings. Now you're like, oh, fuck yeah, because this other person wants to charge me money for this reading, and, you know, I want this free reading. So you go ahead and you get one, right? You tell them a little bit about your situation. You tell them what it is that you're worried about. Okay, you express your vulnerability to this person. Inevitably, they give you a free reading, which you don't get a copy of. You don't get to see. You're not on video chat with them usually to be able to see this. Sometimes you do, but it's very rare, okay? Lots of these are text-based because these people are actually working off of cell phones in other countries. So a lot of times you won't get that video or photographic proof, and I think that those are big ones. Anyway, that's a total aside. So much I'm thinking about, okay? So you get a free reading. You tell them what is your major situation. A lot of times people will share a whole bunch with these people, and then almost always what happens is this reading says that you're cursed. But luckily enough, your reader happens to know how to break this curse for you so that everything will go great in your life and you just have to pay them. Clients come to me and they're like, I didn't really feel like I was cursed, but my worker saw that there was a curse on me, and so then we started doing magic for it, and right? If you don't feel like there's a curse on you, there's probably not a curse on you. Honestly, it's very rare for people to actually be cursed because it's hard to get that magic to stick, okay? You have to understand that your best intention for your life is good, right? You want good things in your life. That's a ubiquitous thing. It doesn't matter who you are. People want good things in their life. So you are always manifesting that, meaning that you're always kind of subconsciously breaking down any sort of work that's coming at you. That's why you have to keep redoing work, right? If your intention is not constantly on that same thing all the time and you're not always doing work at it, it breaks down. That's just the nature of energy. That's the nature of everything in our world. So when you are broken down as a person, these people sense that. They can see how desperate you are. They will tell you everything under the sun that they can to get your information. Now, what are they doing with that information? Well, if you sign up for a reading with them through WhatsApp, you connect with them through WhatsApp. According to the Better Business Bureau, what these people do is they get you to submit a payment, and then they take your information along with your WhatsApp number, and they can use that then to scam other people and to also sign up new accounts and lines of credit, and all kinds of things have happened just by them being able to hack into your WhatsApp by having that information. So it's a very popular website, WhatsApp. It's a very popular app, but it's filled with these scammers and fakes. So if a person is insisting that they can only work with you through WhatsApp, they're insisting that you have to have a WhatsApp, they're insisting that they need your WhatsApp number, huge red flag. Okay, there are millions of people who will work and who will work without WhatsApp. Your reader should be willing to talk to you about what's going on with your spell work. Your reader should be willing to talk to you about what you could expect. You should be expecting photo proofs. Like, you should at least be getting a picture of the work that they did or the results of the work that they did. Something. Because otherwise, oftentimes what I'm finding is that people, if they receive any sort of proof, it's this little snippet that says your spell was cast and it was successful and you'll want to redo this, or you'll need to pay me for a reading to check on how your spell is doing. And it's always this other lead-in, okay? It's always this other way of why you gotta give them more money and when you need to expect to be giving them more money. That's not magic, it's not helpful to you, and it's straight up scamming behavior. Because when these people, then if they're not trying to steal money from you, right? If they're not trying to get your WhatsApp or your information just to steal from you, what they do is they then start contacting you and harassing you. I cannot tell you how many people have been threatened with being cursed because they refuse to pay their worker. They refuse to pay for another reading. They tell their worker, I think that you're a fake, and the person gets super mad and they say, well, I'm reversing all of your work and I'm cursing you. And then they start to harass you. They send you these emails, sometimes they even call you up on the phone. Like, it's crazy, okay? So with all of this happening, you can imagine why someone would be upset and afraid, and it's blackmail. It's straight up blackmail. In some cases, I've had people say, well, I told my worker this important stuff, and then they threatened to tell the person that we did work on. Not okay. All right, because then you're directly in a blackmail situation where you're afraid to not pay these people. You're afraid to go on for yourself because of the retribution of what will happen if that person receives proof that you were actually doing work on them, right? It's terrifying. So it's so important that you guys work with someone who you can trust, someone who is willing to talk with you, someone who's willing to give you ideas, someone who's willing to halfway help you, because that's what you're looking for, right? When you're vulnerable, when you're feeling desperate, when you're feeling like your hands are tied and there's nothing that you can really do about your situation, you're looking for a worker because you're looking for help. You're not looking for a person who's going to threaten you. You're not looking for a person who's going to, take your information and do all kinds of crazy stuff with it, or a person who's going to start charging you. Do you know that there are even workers who will mark down what day of the month people with disability checks get their check, and then they'll contact them on the day or the day before that they get their check and be like, oh, I had a dream and you need to spend this money or else this bad thing will happen. It's ridiculous what people do and what people will do to scam and try to fake you out and try to steal money from you. So, protect yourself. Demand reviews. Demand photographic proof. Demand some conversation. Because if this person is willing to tell you that, yep, no matter what it is that you need, I can do it and 100% guaranteed it's going to work, just send me the money and I'll do whatever you want. Big red flag, okay? Get to know your workers. If your worker is someone who's going to help you, there's someone who's wants to talk to you. If you can't read or understand or see at least generally good spelling from a worker, that's a red flag. If they don't care enough to pay attention to what they're writing to you, do you think that they really care enough to pay attention to what they're casting for you? Probably not. Okay, if you have questions about, is this a fake, is this not, is this safe, is this not, feel free to contact me, okay? I have a form on my website where you can report a fake spellcaster. I do read those, I do go through those. I'm in the process, like I said, we're in the process of actually creating a podcast so that we can come to you more often about these fakes and you can hear about them and really know kind of who to stay away from. So again, if you have questions, you can contact me directly through my website, findyourdivinity.com. There's a forum there where you can fill out if you've had a bad experience with a spellcaster, so I can do my own investigation, and hopefully together we can work to help let other people know so that we can work as a community to help bring down some of these scammers and make sure that the real casters, the real healers, the real guides, the real readers are also being protected, and that they are able to be lauded as people who are trustworthy, and that, we can create those safer connections so that overall the community benefits. Okay, so please contact me. If you got a fake, put them on there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.